Today, we're talking about the best anime that will make you cry. Now, an anime doesn't necessarily have to be good if it makes you cry. However, if you're like me, you know a good emotional anime is very, very good. But in today's video, these are not going to be in any certain order whatsoever. We're just going to be going over the best anime to make you cry, right? Like very emotional anime, and anime I personally cried to. Now, with that being said, let's get it started with number one here. We have Naruto. Now, I did actually upload this list on TikTok before we did this, and some of these got some hate, which I don't really understand. I feel like all these are very solid, but we'll get to those later. However, we have Naruto at number one, and Naruto at number one, I feel like the longer shows have a little bit of an advantage because you learn to attach yourself to these characters because you see them for so long. So the emotional moments are a little bit easier to happen. However, the emotion in Naruto is very good. All the stuff with Obito, incredibly sad. Rock Lee, incredibly sad. When they told him he couldn't train anymore, I mean, man, that was really heartbreaking. I mean, Naruto is genuinely one of the saddest anime at times. It really is very emotional at a lot of times, and I think definitely worth a watch. My favorite anime of all time. If you want to be in the group of my favorite people of all time, what you need to do is scroll down and hit the subscribe button. Please, I upload anime videos 3 times a week, so there's something here for everybody to enjoy. But we're going to move on now to One Piece. One Piece, again, similar to Naruto, it is so incredibly long that you are going to get very emotional moments. It's just very natural to happen in One Piece with, again, how long it is. You are going to have the emotional moments because you are so connected to the characters. Like, Zoro has a lot of good emotional moments because Zoro is there from, like, episode 5, and he's there until the end of the show, right? So you get so many great emotional moments from a lot of these characters because you feel so connected to them, right? Now, are Naruto or One Piece the most emotional anime out there? Definitely not, but they do carry a lot of weight because of the connections you do make with the characters. If you want to make connections to me, join my Discord in the description. Once I have 50 members, I'm going to be doing a video with you guys. So if you guys want to be in a video, make sure to join the Discord. But now we're done with the plugs, and we'll move on to number 3, which is Cowboy Bebop. To me, Cowboy Bebop has one of the saddest last few episodes I've ever seen in any anime. I think the last like 4 episodes made me cry. Like, they were all very incredible, I'm not gonna lie. You have the stuff with Faye, the stuff with Ed, the stuff with Jet, the stuff with Spike. I mean, man, it really hits really hard, I'm not gonna lie, the last few episodes. Now, the whole show is pretty good, but the real emotion doesn't kick in until the end, and oh gosh, the stuff with Spike and Faye is genuinely some of the best written emotional stuff you will ever see. Like, it is genuinely incredible, and I don't know how you couldn't feel any emotion while watching that. We'll move on now to Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. This is definitely one of the most emotional anime in my opinion. I think literally every single episode made me tear up a little bit. I don't know, like, there's a lot of wholesome moments in Full Metal, and there are a lot of really sad moments as well. I mean, the whole story is really just a tragedy, and you get really connected with the characters because they make a lot of sense. They're very realistic. They're very cool guys as well. Like, they're people you want to root for. So the emotion is just incredibly strong in Full Metal, and I don't think you could watch Full Metal and not feel something. It genuinely really is so incredible. But we'll move on to Hunter x Hunter. I think Hunter x Hunter is super emotional as well, especially in the Chimera Ant arc. There are other parts that you could consider emotional, but I think everybody feels something during that Meruem arc. Like, obviously, I don't want to spoil anything on here because, you know, many people might be using this video to watch their next anime, right? So I'm not going to spoil the things that happen in Chimera Ant, but I feel like most people definitely shed a tear during the ending of Chimera Ant, man. It was genuinely incredibly sad, and it was awesome to watch. But now we're going to move on to the next anime, and this is the one that actually got a lot of hate on TikTok, which I don't really understand, which we have Mob Psycho 100. Now, whenever I uploaded this list on TikTok, this was the one that people were hating on. This was the one that people were like, Mob Psycho's not emotional. Mob Psycho's not emotional. You saw some for Naruto and One Piece, but let's be honest, people were just going to hate on those no matter what. But the Mob Psycho one really surprised me with people saying it's not emotional. In my opinion, it is the most emotional anime of all time. It really is. I mean, the whole show is about emotions. Like, it makes sense that there is going to be emotional stuff in it. The show is about sacrifice and emotions, and you think it's not going to be emotional? Like, I don't understand those people. I think they are just hating to hate, or I think they watch Mob Psycho because it has cool fights or whatever, but the show is incredibly emotional. Like, it really is. There is so many wholesome moments, so many sad moments, so many sacrifice moments in Mob Psycho that it really is beautiful. And I think the people that were saying it's not emotional, that honestly, that's a horrible take. That's one of the worst anime takes I've ever seen, in my opinion, because I do believe that is the most emotional anime of all time. So to say it's not emotional at all, I think is a horrible take. And I know this isn't reviewing takes from my TikTok, but I just thought that was absolutely ridiculous. Mob Psycho, to me, is the most emotional anime of all time. But we'll move on to Death Parade. Death Parade hits you in a different way than others, because Death Parade, it is like, it teaches you what it means to be human again. And I think a lot of people, honestly, I say again, a lot of people don't really grasp what it means to be human anyway. A lot of people just live because, let's be honest, we all have other problems going on that we can't all just sit here and think about, oh, well, what makes me human? You know, things like that. But what I will say is that if you watch Death Parade, it'll really make you think about what it means to be alive, and it really is incredible. I mean, seriously, it makes you think about things that you probably would never think of in your day-to-day life, if we're just being honest. So Death Parade, definitely worth a watch, and super emotional, as it like has you look into things that you just have never thought of before. I do want to say as well, before we continue, that there are other anime that I have cried at, but these are the ones that I think most people will feel emotional connection to, because like there are ones like Black Clover does make me emotional, but will a lot of people feel that for Black Clover? Probably not, but I do. So, you know, things like that are not going to be included. But we're going to move on to Code Geass at number 8. I mean, honestly, one of the saddest endings in anime, if we're being honest. One of the most, it's like wholesome and sad. It's so weird. It's like similar to Cowboy Bebop, because that one's similar too. The ending is incredibly sad, but it's incredibly fulfilling too. Like, you actually feel a lot from Code Geass. So it is really incredible. I mean, most people that have watched Code Geass will agree that it is a pretty emotional anime. So honestly, fantastic. Now we'll move on to Yu Yu Hakusho. This one is great too, man. I think every character has an emotional moment, which is like so rare, at least in the main cast. I'm saying, like, Yusuke obviously has a ton. Hell, even the first like thing of how the show starts with Yusuke and Kuwabara is honestly really sad, and it is great. Immediately you start to shed tears for a guy you don't really know all that yet, because you see how people treat him and stuff, and it's great from start to finish. Kuwabara, I mean, is probably the king of the moments. Like, he just capitalizes on every single emotional moment you could want in the show. Even Hiei has some towards the end, and it's incredibly sad. Kurama has some too. Like, the whole main cast just genuinely have moments that will really put you in your feelings, and it's definitely a must-watch, I will say. If you haven't seen Yu Yu Hakusho, it is definitely a must-watch. And what a lot of you are noticing is a lot of these are battle shows that also make you cry. And to me, I think those are a lot better. You know, I think a lot of people may be wondering, like, where some romances are. Like, I remember when a lot of people were, like, asking, like, where's Silent Voice and stuff like that. I haven't seen any of that. If there's any, like, big anime that are emotional that aren't on here, I just probably haven't seen it. And no romance is ever going to be on this list. I'm not watching those. But I've already made videos talking about why I don't like romance, so I'm not going to go into that here. But, yeah, like, romance, a slice of life's not going to be on here. Next up, though, at number 10, we have Erased. Now, Erased is a mystery that's not really that mysterious. You kind of know what's going on, so it doesn't sound like the best show. However, the story is just so phenomenal and so emotional that, like, it still makes it good. Like, I'll be honest, if you could predict Erased if you watched it, even though it's supposed to be a mystery, it's pretty easy to solve. However, it's still really good. The emotion in Erased is just fantastic. I think it's the never giving up from the main character, doing whatever it takes to save the people around him. Like, it genuinely is beautiful, man. It's a very sad anime and deals with something that, like, could be real, other than, like, the whole powers involved with it. But, like, the story of the kidnappings and stuff like that could genuinely be real. So it is, like, really sad when you think about it. And yeah, it's a very sad anime. But now we'll move on to my last pick. Also, if you don't know, I only talk about anime that I've seen. So again, talking about, you know, if there's one missing, I haven't seen it. So lastly, we have Pluto. I think Pluto is such a shocker, man. I watched it just because I got recommended it, didn't know anything about it. Man, every episode is really emotional, especially the stuff with Gesicht at the end. I mean, I don't know how, like, you could not watch that and not feel something, man. Like, you've got to feel so bad for the guy, and it's honestly incredible, the way Pluto really does, the way it does it, man. Honestly, none of the characters are even human, and it makes, like, they just feel so great. With that being said, before we reach the end of the video, I will say one that was commented a lot that I actually have seen that I didn't include is Cyberpunk Edgerunners. A lot of people think that is really emotional, and I'm going to be honest, for me, it's not. I feel like David is to blame for a lot of the stuff that happened to him, if not all of it. Like, I don't feel bad for him with the way things ended. Like, it was his fault. And then if people want to be like, oh, well, you could feel bad for Lucy or whatever, I don't feel bad for Lucy. She's a criminal. Like, she also did this to herself. Now, I know the world is terrible or whatever, but like, I'm not going to feel bad for people that do it to themselves. So I think that's something I just want to get out the way. Like, Cyberpunk, I don't really think is that sad. Like, the ending kind of pissed me off more than made me sad. Ending was good, but it made me more mad than sad. Like, why the fuck did they do that? I don't know. So yeah, don't really feel bad for those characters, if I'm being honest. But if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Again, Discord, everything in the description. Please come check me out, help me out. But yeah, hope to see you guys in a future video. Peace.